and I am a volunteer crew supervisor here at the center. This is Veronica Johnson.
I'm Veronica Johnson. I'm an animal care crew senior manager here, and I was a volunteer for 15 years.
And we are here to do our live for Giving Tuesday. What we're doing now is actually our lunchtime feed for some of our animals. This is this gorgeous herring. This herring runs about $5 for 3 pounds. And just so you know, 90% of our budgeting operations comes from donations from people like you. So if you can click that button down below and donate, you help our guys get some fish. And up until midnight tonight, the Brightside Charitable Foundation will be matching your donation up to $10,000. So you will actually be getting 6 pounds of fish for your $5.
Excellent. And are we going to be quiet when we walk over to the pen?
Yes, we are going to head out into the pens. We're going to kind of stop talking because we try not to talk around our animals so that they stay wild. But go ahead and keep sending in your questions. And when we get out of the pens, we will answer them for you.
And how many pens are we going to go feed right now?
We're going to 2 pens. The first one is going to be 2 northern fur seals, which is really interesting because these animals are normally pelagic, which means they spend all of their time out in deep water. We don't usually see them on the beach. So kind of getting to see them today is really special. And then we will be heading over towards some of our animals that are bigger and healthier in H row. And those guys are actually going to get some fishsicles, which is a giant block of ice with some fish stuck in it. And this is an enrichment exercise. It just gives them something to play with, something a little different, so they're not completely bored while they're hanging out here.
Perfect. Let's go.
These are our northern fur seal patients. We're going to keep our voices low, but you're going to get to see them fed some herring in just a minute. For anyone joining us, thank you for joining our Giving Tuesday live event. Our Tuesday day crew volunteers are going to come in the opposite side with a bucket full of herring for these 2 small northern fur seal patients. And you're going to get to see them free feed, which means they're eating independently. All we have to do is throw food in, and they'll eat it on their own. We don't have to help them, we don't have to teach them. This is a species that is supposed to be free feeding on their own. We don't have to tube feed them like we do with our elephant seals. As you can see, they are adorable. These patients are only a handful of months old, and they're doing really well in their rehab journey right now. They're being treated for malnutrition, maternal separation. So really we want to get them fat and happy and let them eat as much herring as they can while they're here so we can get them nice and fat and send them back out to their ocean home for their second chance. Each pound of herring that we throw in there is sustainably sourced, and we need donations to help us buy that sustainably sourced herring so that we can actually feed all of our patients. When we are at our busiest in May and June, we can be going through 1,000 pounds of herring every 24 hours. So really our operating costs being funded by donations just from people just like you is incredible and means that we can feed our animals all the food they really need. Now these 2 patients are called Showers and Wallaby. And each one of them, you might see they have an orange flipper tag, and that orange flipper tag is their unique identification, so we can tell them apart. They don't know their names. We do not talk to them because we don't want them to get used to us. So we have to be able to identify as individuals that can get the appropriate medications or foods that they might need. So if you see a flash of orange on their left side, that means both of them are males because they have a left flipper tag, because females are always right. We're going to let them finish up their lunch, and we're going to go throw some enrichment in with some rowdy sea lions. Now these are California sea lions in particular, and these make up the largest group of patients that we see throughout the year at TMMC. We see hundreds of these every single year. And these ones are in H1, one of our larger deep water pens, which means that they are feeling strong enough to be close to release. And as you'll see, once they get that fish in the water, they're going to jump right in, and they're probably going to do some substantial competition because they all want a piece of that fish. You can see our fish sickles there, just as Katie showed you. And we're gonna plop that right into the pool and we're gonna see action. Now we do fish sickle enrichment for certain animals. Like Melissa said earlier, if you're just joining in, this is a fish sickle enrichment. This is not all of the food that they need for their meal, but this is to keep things exciting. Animals here are not getting the same kind of mental stimulus as they would out in the wild, so we want to give them novel experiences to keep them interested, to keep them from getting bored. As you can see, they're really enjoying their enrichment. They're having a fantastic time. It keeps them engaged, it keeps them thinking. It makes them try new things. And once again, if you see that flash of orange on their flippers, those are their flipper tags, so those are their identifiers, so we can tell which one is which. Because we're a hospital, we do need to know which animal is which one. We can't go out calling their names. So we identify them with their unique flipper tags so we can tell which one needs medications, which one needs food, which one needs to be looked at by our vets, and that's how we identify all of them. Now that we've done that, we're gonna head back into the fish kitchen and answer some of your questions. This way.
All right, so tell us what we just saw.
So at first we saw 2 northern fur seal patients getting fed their herring feed. Those are 2 pelagic species. And obviously this is a hospital. We've got work happening all the time, so there's a lot of random noises going on. Feel free to ignore it. We watched 2 northern fur seal patients being fed their afternoon feed. And sometimes we'll slice those herring because the herring are really, really large. You know, we get what we get. And sometimes the animals are smaller than the fish, basically. And so we have to slice those into pieces so they can actually swallow them easily. As they get stronger and more competent, they can eat larger and larger fish. But since if you saw, they're much smaller animals, so we do want to kind of help them out and make things not too difficult for them.
And we got a question, what does pelagic mean?
Pelagic refers to animals that spend most of their lives out in deep water. They don't hang out on our beaches a lot. Northern fur seals are not typically found on beaches in California, so the fact that we have them is fairly unusual.
Yes, and if you do see them on a beach, if you see a northern fur seal, you'll see that they have little external ear flaps. They've got slightly longer hair. And if you see one on a beach, call our number 415-289-SEAL to report the animal in distress so that we can go out and assess whether or not that animal needs care and to be brought back to the Marine Mammal Center to be helped. Because they're not really supposed to be on land. As we mentioned, pelagic means that they're way out in the deep ocean. They should be spending all of their time out there. So if we do see them on land, something is a little off. And so we do want to know about that. So feel free to call us. We are the experts. Keep your distance. We do respect safe wildlife viewing, and we do want you to call 415-289-SEAL.
And what's the best way that people can help these animals today?
You can click that donate button at the bottom of the screen. And remember that your gifts today will be matched up to $10,000 by the Brightside Charitable Foundation. You can come and visit us if you're local. You can check out our website online, tell all your friends about us. If you're very local, we have a lot of volunteer opportunities. You can come work with these animals yourself.
Thank you so much for joining us for our Giving Tuesday live event. We appreciate you joining us for this afternoon feed and getting to show you a little bit behind the scenes and to see some of the important work that we're doing to give these animals a second chance to go back to their ocean home. Bye.